Man, these last 5 years have been kind of crazy, and I've had a lot of unusual gigs, none more unusual than I got booked to do a gig at a prison. I had to do a show for 1,000 male prisoners, and for free, man. Yeah, never open your mouth and say you'll do something without finding out how much you're going to do it for. And I did a show for 1,000 prisoners, and when you walk in there, man, they take your keys and your license, your pockets are empty, and they shut the door, and you're like, I'll never come out. So I get there, and they take me to the back area where I'm going to do the show, and they had a prisoner MC. And the dude was like, what you want me to say for your introduction? I was like, tell him my jokes kill in Nebraska. Actually, what I said was, I'm going to be standing right over there. And when it's time for me to go on, just point to the microphone. And then the prisoners started coming in, and those dudes looked just as spooky and scary as they do when they're depicted in the movies. They were coming in, they were grumbling, the dude better be funny. And I was like, or what? And then the guy pointed to the microphone, and when he pointed to the microphone, I started walking, and before I could grab it, some prisoner stood up from my right and said, man, they done brought Bill Cosby up in here. And the prisoners went wild. They all stood up and they were like, hey, say Jello pudding, say Jello pudding. So I was like, I like the Jello pudding, I like pudding, I like pudding. And then they were like, do the eyes, do the eyes. I was like, and then one dude got up over there and said, say you're guilty. I was like, hold on. They were happy, and I was like, okay, that was better than anything I was going to say to start off, so let me keep the groove going. So I started doing my acting. As I started doing my show, I realized about halfway through, I was going to do a bit that you should not do for 1,000 male prisoners. But I was into it, and so I did it. I started telling them this story about me for my 60th birthday going to Las Vegas to have a good time. Okay? I go to Las Vegas, I go to this nightclub. Right away, I knew I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, just by the bouncer. The bouncer asked me for my ID. I just turned 60, right? Dude's like, I'm gonna need to see your ID. So I gave him my ID, and I could tell he was struggling. He was like, let me see. Carry the one. You 60. I was like, yeah. He goes, you're going to have to sign this waiver. So I signed the waiver. He let me in. As soon as I got in, I was like, I am in the wrong place at the wrong time. Everybody in this club is half my age. I could see it. They all got on the clothes. They all look like that dude on Jersey Shore that called himself The Situation, right? I don't know if y'all remember that show, but they had a guy on the show that called himself The Situation. I didn't like the show, but I love that nickname, The Situation. I wish when I was 12 years old, I would have come home and said, Mom and Dad, check this out. From now on, you two will address me as The Situation. 10 seconds later, my mother would have been on the phone. Hello, 911, we got a situation laid out on the floor. Oh, I know what happened. My husband, the solution, knocked him out. That's what happened. But I was in there to find somebody to dance with, and it's a little different now in the 21st century. When I was coming up, men asked women to dance. Be like, hey, would you like to dance? They say, yes. They say, no. I just keep looking. I'm in there looking around. This woman taps me on my shoulder. I turned around. She said, my name is Shafrika. Tonight you mine. Grab me by my coat, pull me on the dance floor. She's dragging me out there. I'm all scared, and I realized in the moment that I don't know how to dance. not 21st century dancing. I know one step, tried and true, because I'm a Motown guy. I work it all the time. I just get into my groove. I don't know what Lizzo talking about, but I got sunshine on a cloudy day, so there you go. So I break into my move, and I'm thinking she's gonna follow along. That's what used to happen. The guy would lead, the lady would follow. But no, this woman who said her name was Shaprika, she didn't play around, man. She turned her back on me, which let me know gluteus turbulence was about to commence. Her body started vibrating and gyrating. At first, I thought she was having a seizure. Then I realized what was really going on. It looked like she swallowed a jackhammer, just all in my... And I'm an old dude. I'm looking at it like, wow, look at that thing go. Right? Siri was going rerouting. I'm like, all right. I just followed it until I got dizzy, right? You get so dizzy, you gotta grab onto something. The only thing I could grab onto was this woman. So I'm holding up, like I grip her like around the waist. It looked like I was on the back of a motorcycle. I'm holding on. She's like, oh, you like dancing with me? I'm like, no, you're chipping my teeth. Please stop. So I just held on for 45 more minutes, man. Tore my ACL that day. I got home, my friends were like, how much did you lose in Vegas? I was like, 9 pounds dancing with your friend. So the point in telling y'all that story was, do not twerk in front of 1,000 male prisoners. Because as I was twerking, first of all, the little voice in my head was like, stop twerking.